Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Chef Girl RD. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this gorgeous key lime pie, and we're going to be making this in the Ninja Foodi. Alright, so we'll jump right into our ingredients. For the pie filling, you're going to need 5 egg yolks, just the yolks, and then you're going to need 1 cup of key lime juice. I just got this on Amazon. And if you don't have key lime juice, you absolutely can just use regular lime juice. That's fine. And then I'm going to be using 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. And then onto our crust, I've got a package of graham crackers that I'm going to crush up. I have a 1/3 cup of sugar and 5 tablespoons of butter. And then over here I have my lime zest. I'm letting it actually dry out a little bit right now. And then over here, I've got my 5 pieces of lime. Oh, there's 6 actually, for decoration for when we're done. So now we can get into our pie crust. And I'm gonna be using this springform pan today. So if you have any bakeware that can go in the Foodi, similar to a pie dish, you can use that as well. But I don't have one, so this is what I'm gonna be using. So we're gonna use 1½ cups of crushed graham crackers. This was about 11 or 12 crackers that I crushed up. Put that in the bowl. I'm gonna add my 1/3 cup of sugar. And I'm just giving that a little mix. Now I'm gonna take my 5 tablespoons of butter. I did throw that in the microwave just to melt it. I'm gonna pour that in. And we're gonna mix that up. So you wanna mix that up as best as you can. It might take a couple of minutes to do that. And then you'll know it's done when you can make a nice impression in it. Like a sandy texture. I'm gonna take my springform pan. I did put a parchment paper round in there. This is optional, you don't have to do that. And I'm just gonna add some of my crumb. Do a little bit at a time. And spread that out. Add a little bit more. You want to try to make this as level as you can. And you want to just kind of push down on the bottom to kind of make it compact and nice and tight. And I'm using, this is just a cup from a lemonade mix. You can use anything that you have that you think will work. And I'm going to go add some more around the edge. We'll start a little bit at a time. You just want to kind of pull it to the edge and press along the side. And this is going to take a while. This is probably the longest part of everything. All right, so I just finished. This took me a good 15 minutes to do. Just try to do the best that you can. This spoon was my best friend. So as I was building it up with my hands, I was just kind of pushing along the sides with the spoon. And then I took some more, and then I kind of would go along the edge and then just pull it and press and pull and press. Once you get all your sides, I just kind of went around the bottom. I shaped it. You can push your fingers in the corner to really make it nice and tight. And then the very last part, you just kind of just give a nice little push to create that edge where the bottom meets the side. And you don't have to go too crazy. You can drive yourself nuts if you try to make it too perfect. So don't worry too much if it's not perfect. Mine's not perfect. So just do what you can. You're gonna make a mess. I did, but it's fine. And just a little tip, worst case, if you're struggling, you could always just start over and add a little more butter, remix, and that might help. But I was able to do this with only 5 tablespoons of butter. It just takes a little time and patience. So next, I just took my springform pan, I put it on top of my reversible rack in the lower position, and we're gonna put this right in the Foodi. And we're gonna do a pre-bake. So we're gonna set it to bake. I'm gonna bake it on 350, and I'm gonna change the time to 10 minutes. And we'll hit start. So while that's baking, we'll move right on to our pie filling. I got a large mixing bowl here. I'm gonna add my key lime juice. I'm gonna add my 5 egg yolks. I'm gonna add my 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. Now we're gonna mix that really well. So I'm gonna start with a whisk, and then I'm gonna move over to an electric mixer. But you can do either or both. So once that's mixed up really well, you're gonna take your lime zest, and I didn't use all of it. I saved a little bit for garnish at the end. But you wanna use most of it, and you're gonna dump that in there, and we're going to toss that into the filling. All right, looks good. And that was about 2 teaspoons of lime zest. All right, so pie crust is pre-baked. Look, oh, that smells really good. So we're just gonna let that cool, and then I'll take it out. Okay, so now that that's completely cooled, I'm gonna add my mixture. You just want to even it out as best you can. You're going to slowly pick it up. We're going to set that down into the Foodi. So we're going to use the bake function. We're going to bake it on 350. We're going to go 22 minutes. I'm going to hit start. And while that's baking, let's make some whipped cream. I'm going to use 1 cup of heavy cream. You can use heavy whipping cream too. I'm going to use a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And 2 heaping tablespoons of confectioners sugar. We're going to use an electric mixer to whip that up till it's nice and thick. All right, whipped cream's all set. So we're just gonna set that in the fridge until we're ready to use it. So about 10 minutes left, and I am gonna open this, and I'm gonna cover it with foil now because I don't want it to brown any more than it has. But I'm not gonna cover the pie. I'm gonna just put it onto the handles, and that should protect it from browning any more than it has. All right, let's take a look. Oh, that's much better. All right, so I'm really glad we added the foil. And when we did, I should have mentioned to you, you probably seen me do it anyway, but When I put the foil on, I folded it onto the handles because what could happen is once you close the lid and it continues baking, if the foil's not attached to the handles, it can suck up into the fan. So we don't want that to happen. So just make sure if you use the foil, which I do highly recommend, just pinch it onto the handles so it stays put. So we'll take this off now. That looks good. And don't worry too much about the brown areas. It's gonna taste just fine. And we're gonna cover that up with some whipped cream anyway. So I'm gonna let that cool for about 5 minutes before I take it out, and then I'm gonna set it on the counter to cool off. All right, so that cooled off enough for me to set it onto my counter. And now you just wanna let this cool for a good 2 hours. And just so you know, it's gonna still be a little jiggly if you were to see, there you go. And that's okay, it's gonna set within the next couple hours. All right guys, we're back. It's been 2 hours and my key lime pie is nice and cooled off. And I got to looking at it and I played around with it for a little bit because I'm not sure if these brown areas will bother you or not. So I'm gonna cover this with whipped cream anyway. So for me, it's not a big deal, but some people, you know, just like to have a little whipped cream around the edge and have it open in the middle, and that's perfectly fine. So if these brown areas bothers you, then here's what you can do. You can add the foil right as soon as you put it in the Foodi, and that will eliminate that from browning. I probably should have done that at first anyway, but I did it halfway through instead. So that's one way to eliminate that entirely. And the other reason is, well, because we baked this. So if you want, you can do a pressure cooking method, which will eliminate that altogether. Unfortunately, I don't have the cooking instructions for that because I did bake this. So if you end up with a few dark spots, it just peels right off. All right, so enough about that. Let's get back to the pie. So this is ready for refrigeration. And if you can see, I'm gonna shake it and it's not moving. So it's set really nice and it smells really good. So we're gonna pop this in the fridge and I'm gonna let it sit in there. You wanna go, I would do a minimum of 6 hours, but the longer the better. And then when it's nice and chilled, we will frost it and decorate it, and it's gonna look beautiful. All right, welcome back. I am here with my chilled key lime pie. Just took it out of the fridge. So it's been chilling about 6 hours. And we're just gonna open up the springform pan now and release it and lift it slow and steady. Beautiful. All right. And I have a spatula here. I was gonna try to go underneath and scoop it up, but you know what? Because I have the parchment round under there, it should come right up if I pick it up. So let's see. Oh, it is. All right, hold on, let me put it on my plate. Beautiful. All right. And this is gonna be nice and easy to clean now too because I use that parchment paper, which is wonderful. And I just grabbed my whipped cream out of the fridge and it softened up a little bit, but not much. And I wanted it a little thicker. So I just re-whipped it. So if that happens with you and you go to take out your whipped cream and it's a little on the thinner side, you can re-whip whipped cream. So I'm just gonna take some with my spoon and put it on top. I'm gonna grab a little more than that. All right, and I'm just gonna smooth this right on. All right, so this looks good. I just finished frosting. I leveled it all, I smoothed it out. And now I'm gonna take my remaining whipped cream and I'm gonna put it into a frosting bag. Just like this. It's all in there, nice and tight. So I'm just gonna start. So I'm gonna do my frosting. I'm gonna do the 12, 6, 3, and 9 mark first. So we're just gonna squeeze it. And just a little like that. And do one down here. And 3 o'clock. And 9 o'clock. And then we're just going to fill in the gaps. So it should look a little something like this. And you can leave spaces, you could fill them in, you can do however you want. And if you're not familiar with one of these, or if you want to try to get some practice, you can always do, you know, a few test shots on a paper plate. That's how I first learned how to do it. So now I'm just going to take my little lime slices for decoration, and I'm going to drop one down and then drop another one down, and I'm just kind of crisscrossing them, or overlapping, I should say. Oh, that's a big one. Let me use the other one. Just a little something like that. All right. And I'm just going to take my final slice. It's just a whole little slice, and I'm going to put that right in the middle. Make it look cute. And last but not least, I'm going to take my lime zest. And again, you can do this however you want, but I'm just going to go on top of each flower. Just to give it that garnish that we're looking for, make it look pretty. And here we go. Just finished. Doesn't that look yummy? All right, so taste test time. And as beautiful as it looks, unfortunately, this is the most important part, is how it's going to taste. So I'm going to cut in between. It's the hard part because we, you know, made it look pretty. So we're going to have to destroy our garnish a little bit. But we're going to cut down. Well, you know how to cut into a cake or pie. So I'm just going to lift this little guy up and get under there. All right. And we lost a little crumb there, but that's all right. Just going to get underneath, under that parchment paper. And lift it up. It's always the first part that's tricky. After your first slice, then it all comes out. All right, that was tricky, but I did it. And here it is. Look good? Let's taste it. All right, trial or truth right here. It looks good. Wow. My gosh. This is amazing. Now, if you've ever had key lime pie, you know it's a little tart, but you know what? This is not bad at all. It's sweet and tart, and it's just enough of both. And the crust is delicious. This, I'm just so happy about this. It just came out really, really good, guys. You're gonna love it. And geez, I might as well finish it, but no, I'm gonna go right into the crust, the back of it, where we had that little bit of the browned areas, and taste that just to make sure that you don't taste that. Oh gosh, no. Wow. Yeah, so I wouldn't even worry about that, guys. This is just delicious. You're gonna love it. So just remember, your refrigeration is one of the most important parts. The longer the better, but it's up to you how long you want to wait. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please click that like button and be sure to subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Bon appetit, guys.